Jared Dillian Show.
I'm Jared Dillian. This is the Jared Dillian Show. If you want to call to talk about your money, please call 844-305-7800. That's 844-305-7800. This is the Jared Dillian Show. You can also go to my website, which is jareddillianmoney.com. That's jareddillianmoney.com. Or you can follow me on Twitter at DailyDirtNap. Let's take a call. Mike from Kansas City. Mike, what's up?
Hey, Jared. Hey, how's it going?
Yo. Good.
So I enjoy the show, and I have a question. So I moved to Kansas City a little over 2 years ago from New York, and with my wife. And so I've been renting an apartment, and we decided that, it was time to kind of put down some roots, and we wanted to buy a house. So late last year, we found this awesome house that we wanted to get, and we, went into contract for it. So we put down earnest money, and obviously we all know what has happened in, January, February. And so I guess, and I'll get to my question, but, part of me was, and we locked in a mortgage now, and it's like 3 1/8 for a 30-year fix. So it's pretty good. So, but I guess the value investor in me says, hey, you should just, eat that earnest money and wait, because the bottom is going to fall out from the market. You're going to be able to get a much better place for the same amount of money in 6 months or a year. But I don't think that's, I feel like that's kind of getting too cute. But then I'd love to get your thoughts on that, just so I guess about the residential real estate market in general and the potential for it to really kind of fall off a cliff over the next few months. And then the second part is I've been told that it makes more sense to kind of pay a little bit extra each month to try to get that 30-year mortgage down to a 15-year mortgage. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I can help with that. So I think this isn't really like a rational decision or a mathematical decision. This is really kind of an emotional decision, and it really comes down to how much you like this house that you're going to buy. If you really, really like the house, if that's your dream house and you like the house and you already see yourself in it and you know where the furniture is going to go and you have this, set up in your mind, then I would say, this thought process you're going through is getting too cute. It is getting too cute. Now, my view on residential real estate as a result of the crisis, I think vacation areas are going to get hit very hard. So I've been talking on the show a lot about Miami Beach. You want to talk about the bottom falling out. Like condos in Miami Beach are going to be down like 30%, like for sure, because people are going to be traveling less. I think in a place like Kansas City, it's where it's more stable. It's people living there. You might be able to get it for 10% cheaper a year from now, but then you have to deal with I'm still in an apartment and all that kind of stuff. So I would just say go ahead with the purchase. The rate on your mortgage is fantastic. 3 1/8 is really, really good. So that's, I would say go for it. Now, in terms of prepaying the mortgage, what I advise people to do a lot of time, if they have a mortgage, to refinance a 30-year mortgage into a 15-year mortgage. A 15-year mortgage, you build up equity a lot faster and you pay a lot less interest over time. Okay, a 30-year mortgage, you should prepay. I mean, you should send in $250, $500, $750, an extra $1,000 a month, and try to prepay that as quickly as you can. And by doing that, you're going to shorten the duration of that mortgage by a long time. So instead of a 30-year mortgage, you'll have a 20-year mortgage, and you'll cut down on the interest that you pay over time. The house that I'm currently in, I aggressively started prepaying it as soon as I was in the house, and I ended up paying off the mortgage in 3.5 years. It was a 30-year mortgage. I paid it off in 3.5 years, and I saved myself hundreds of thousands of dollars in interest. So I'm a big fan of aggressively prepaying. I guess my question is, if you're thinking about a 15-year mortgage, why would you not start with a 15-year mortgage?
It is a good question, and that we talked to our mortgage broker about that, and he said the spread the spread between the 30-year and the 15-year wasn't that much, so it didn't really make sense to do that, and the monthly payment was going to be a lot higher that I'd be locked into. So I'd rather have the flexibility because obviously anything could happen over the next, year or 2 years. So he said it didn't really make sense because the 15-year hadn't come down as much. The spread had actually narrowed between those two. So that's why we went with the 30-year. And then again, we could always change it, right? Or just pay more. I don't know if I could do it off in 3.5 years, but I think that's a great suggestion. But we'll try to pay it down as quickly as possible.
Well, I think that, a responsible guy like yourself, I mean, yes, a 30-year will give you more flexibility. The payment will be lower. If your intention is to send an extra $750 a month in and prepay it anyway, then it's essentially the same thing as having a 15-year mortgage. So, the 15-year mortgage is for people who really aren't responsible and they need to build that equity faster. My other question is, have you looked into getting like a 5/1 or 7/1 ARM?
No, we haven't. What would be the pros and cons of those, and how does it even work? To be fair, I'm not too familiar with it.
Okay, so an ARM stands for adjustable rate mortgage. So right. A plain vanilla, what they call a 1/1 ARM, it's an adjustable rate that resets every year. Okay, and most people don't get regular ARMs because it's a little scary that the interest rates might go higher. A 5-year ARM or a 7-year ARM is what's called a hybrid ARM. So it's fixed for 5 years or 7 years, and then it floats after that, right? So the rates on I don't actually know where the rates are. My guess is that they're really, really low, like maybe in the 1 to 2% range. And what you could do is you could get like a 7/1 ARM, and that rate is fixed for 7 years. And then your goal is to pay off that mortgage in 7 years before the rate resets. Okay. And if you're not paying any interest, if the interest is really low, you'll be able to build equity in that really fast. And, like I said, ARMs can be scary because people are worried about rates going up. But I think in this environment, rates aren't going to go up for a really long time anyway. So, again, like 3 1/8 is a really good rate on the 30-year, but you just might want to just ask the question about the 5/1 or 7/1.
Great. Awesome. Well, I really appreciate all your comments. Love following you on Twitter, and I look forward to keep listening.
Cool, man. Thanks for calling. I actually should check up on that. I should check up on where the rates on the hybrid ARMs are. I actually had a hybrid ARM. This was the mid-2000s. I had a 5/1 ARM, and it was great. I forget what rate we were paying, around 3% or something like that. And then when the rate reset, it reset lower instead of higher. So I had a pretty good experience with that. Briefly, let's talk about lunch here for a second. The average American spends $936 a year on store-bought lunches. I think I might spend more. And again, we're not going to get into this nickel and diming on how to save money on lunch. We can do that. It's not the small stuff, it's the big stuff. It's the house, it's the car, it's the student loans. Let's see. Let's go to lunch here. Lunch, when it comes to buying food during the workday, lunch is usually people's largest expense. Consider the cost of the following popular lunch items when purchased from delis or cafes. Soup, a 12-ounce cup can cost anywhere from $3 to $6 or more. You can make a pot of soup for $10 or less at home with enough for 8 or more lunches and save $5 a day. Sandwiches and wraps, a sandwich or wrap can cost anywhere from $5 to $10 depending on what's in it. If your usual turkey sandwich with lettuce, cheese, and tomatoes costs $7.50, you can make your own for $3 or less and save $4.50 per day. Prepared salads can cost $5 to $10. Many delis and cafes make your own salad bars where salad prices are determined either by weight or specific ingredient. You can prepare a salad at home with lettuce, tomatoes, peppers, corn, and grilled chicken for $3 to $5 and save more than $5 on what you'd pay at a deli or cafe. Pasta or rice bowls, these typically cost between $8 and $12. Anyway, all this stuff, you can save $5 a day. You're working 250 days a year times 5, that's $1,250. I actually talked about this a few months ago, and this whole idea that you would save $5 a day on lunch seemed kind of ludicrous. And it's really, now I think people are going to look at that in a different light. I think people are looking to save money. So total monthly savings on lunch, $100 to $200 or more. Total yearly savings, $1,200 to $2,400 or more. And maybe people will do it. I've been thinking about it. When I go back to work, I might bring my own lunch. And I talked a lot about how one of the reasons I go out to lunch is to get some fresh air, go to a restaurant, see people. See, I work by myself, so I don't normally see people. And yeah, so there's a whole bunch of things that you can do when you're going out for lunch. You can go out early. You can have a lunch date. You can buy used gift cards. I don't do the used gift cards. A lot of those are stolen and stuff like that. Get a birthday discount. Skip the coffee, tea, and soda. Skip the appetizer. Split entrees. Bring your own. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of stuff you can do to save money on lunch. I'm Jared Dillian. This is The Jared Dillian Show.
The Jared Dillian Show.